I worry. And now I'm going to have another conversation with him about being careful. When is this gonna stop? When is enough enough?
And not only this, I swear to God, when trial starts, I don't want to hear an apology from him. I don't want to hear like, ever since I killed Sonya, I have had nightmares. I haven't been able to sleep at night. I don't want to hear none of that when that trial comes, but we heard what you called her. You called her a bitch. You left her there to...
The reason that officer was arrested, the reason he was charged, the reason he was discharged of his duty is because the Democratic Party cannot afford to lose the state of Illinois to the Republicans. Do y'all hear me?
Sean Grayson, who pulled the trigger, was discharged from the U.S. Army for serious misconduct in 2016 after less than 2 years of service, and held 6 different police jobs in the last 4 years. Body camera video showing Grayson and his partner at Massey's home after she reported a prowler. The situation quickly escalating when Massey is asked to remove a pot of boiling water from the stove.
Huh? Where you going? Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
I
rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
better not. I swear to God, I'll
Celebrities like Solange and Cardi B are voicing their outrage over the tragic death of Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old black woman who was brutally killed by a police officer in her own home. The nation is in turmoil after body cam footage was released showing former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson fatally shot Sonya, supposedly because he thought she was going to pour boiling water on him. But as more details come to light, the public's anger is only growing because, first of all, there is zero evidence that Sean Grayson was in danger of Sonya Massey. And on top of that, it's now also been revealed that the police allegedly tried to cover up the incident, initially claiming Sonya's death was self-inflicted. And as if that wasn't enough, Sean Grayson's family is now lashing out at people on social media who criticize Grayson, complaining about how the case has affected their family without ever mentioning Sonya Massey. To give you some context, on July 6th, Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, was shot by a sheriff's deputy in her own home in Springfield, Illinois, after she called the police about a possible intruder. After checking her backyard and the surrounding area, at least 2 officers entered her home. Inside, one officer asked her to turn off her stove. Some sources claim that Sonya picked up a pot of boiling water, and Officer Sean Grayson her, thinking she was going to throw the water at him. But multiple videos circulating on social media now show that Sonya was not holding the pot when Officer Sean Grayson fatally shot her. The footage clearly shows that she had placed the pot down and was ducking with her hands in the air when Grayson shot her 3 times.
Wraps the silver pot with red and white cooking mittens. The pot. Her hands are in the air.
But you know what? It doesn't even matter if she was holding the pot because there was absolutely no reason for the officer to react the way he did. It's obvious that Sonya Massey wasn't a threat to Sean Grayson. If he really felt threatened, why did he take a step toward her after he saw she was supposedly holding a pan of boiling water? And then the way he immediately threatened to shoot her in the face, it almost looks like he had already made up his mind to kill her when he told her to turn off the stove. By the way, Grayson showed no remorse after the shooting, and he called Sonya a crazy B-word.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a bit crazy.
Grayson later turned himself in, and a grand jury has already indicted him on 3 counts of first-degree and 2 other charges. But don't let Grayson's quick charges distract you from the police's attempt to seemingly cover up the incident with multiple contradictory accounts before the body cam footage was released. At first, police claimed Sonya's death was self-inflicted. This wasn't the only false story they pushed before admitting that Sean Grayson shot her. Sonya's family was initially told that an intruder killed her. When no evidence of an intruder was found, they then claimed she took her own life.
By the intruder. I did not find out that the deputies killed her until my brother asked for Sonya's address, and I gave it to him, And he said, brother, this says deputies involved. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But we were all misled to believe that. And then there was a story that this was self-inflicted, a self-inflicted shot.
Oh my goodness.
So I think the cover-up started from just right after it happened.
Now, you might have noticed that there's been a lot of talk in the mainstream media about Sonya's alleged mental health issues. But what's not being discussed nearly as much is Sean Grayson's own status and his problematic disciplinary record. He worked in 6 different police departments in under 3 years, had 2 misdemeanor DUI convictions, and all this happened after he was discharged from the Army for serious misconduct. The Intercept obtained documents from the Kincaid Police Department showing that Grayson was discharged from the Army in 2016 from Fort Riley in Kansas for misconduct, serious offense. Army officials confirmed this, but refused to provide details about the offense, citing their privacy policy. What's also really suspicious is that after shooting Sonya, Grayson tried to discourage his partner from giving her first aid. In the body cam footage, you can hear him telling his partner it's pointless to try because it was a headshot.
In the water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
No, I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
So after that, Sean Grayson shoots Sonya Massey. Body cam footage later records him telling his partner not to render aid to her.
But just when you thought you heard it all, Sean Grayson's family decided that this was a good time to beg for sympathy. So the grandmother of Sean Grayson's fiancé wrote an open letter on July 26th titled, "Does anyone care about Sean Grayson's family or what horrifying reality they are dealing with?" Yo, I can't. The title alone is pissing me off because how can one person be this tone deaf? But it gets worse. So this woman, and by the way, her name is Brenda Butterfield, which already tells you everything you need to know. She complained in her letter about the people protesting and demanding justice for Sonya Massey, claiming that they should be happy Sean Grayson is in jail. Let me just read this unhinged letter to you. First, to the protesters. What are you protesting? Sean is in jail. Charges are filed. Trial date to be set and punishment to be applied. Sean is not going anywhere, so please knock off wearing out your sweat glands. So please take your signs and go home and just be humans, not the amusement or disgust to the public. What about his fiancée he was to marry in October? She is an innocent young woman who also is unfairly being persecuted. Does anyone care about the destruction of her life? She is left to deal with an emotional death. Sean's future in-law families, a to-be father-in-law who is as close to Sean as a father can be, a future mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and brother-in-law who is Sean's friend, future grandparents who loved Sean dearly and still do. Shock, disbelief, and reality, but an undying support for Sean. The past cannot be relived. The future is unknown. We only have each day to pray without ceasing. The Sean everyone desires to hate and persecute is not the Sean we have all known and loved. We will always support Sean. Judge not, lest ye be judged. No man or woman is without sin. There is a final judgment for all. Proud grandmother-to-be of Sean Grayson. Brenda Butterfield. I mean, what do you even say to someone like this? Well, celebrities had a lot to say, and they hopped on social media to express their anger over the whole situation. But before I move on to the reactions, I want to say that I noticed most celebrities haven't said a thing about Sonya Massey's murder. All those celebrities who love to flex about being part of the culture and talk about giving back to their community are now staying completely silent on Sonya Massey's case. But there are a handful of celebs who decided to use their platforms to raise awareness about the case and demand justice for Sonya. One of the first to publicly react was Solange, who wrote on X, "First words Sonya Massey said at her front door were, 'Don't hurt me.' She was told, 'Why would we hurt you? You called us.' When have these words meant anything when you're black and a woman in this country? When do these words protect you from not being in your kitchen, in your bedroom, with your babies, on your lawn? What is reassurance in this place? Rest in power, Sonya Massey, and an abundance of love and power to Sonya Massey's family on this journey." Former NBA star Nick Young wrote, "So the police killed a 36-year-old black lady holding a pot because she said, 'I rebuke you in Jesus' name?' And we out here playing for the USA." Meek Mill also joined the conversation, and he commented on a video of Sonya's son saying, "Can you imagine the cops killing your mom on camera like that? she didn't even have a pot in her hand. She put it down. And we need to erase police reports. Humans lie. Meanwhile, Cardi B said Sean Grayson will probably try to play the mental health card once the trial begins. But according to Cardi, he deserves no sympathy because he had none for Sonya.
I really thought he was going to get away with it, and he didn't even care. And not only this, I swear to God, when trial starts, I don't want to hear an apology from him. I don't want to hear like, ever since I killed Sonya, I have had nightmares. I haven't been able to sleep at night. I don't want to hear none of that shit when that trial comes, because we heard what you called her. You called her you left her there to die, and you set it yourself up. Yeah, it doesn't matter. She just on her head, like just let her, like nothing. Oh my God, look, I got water on my feet. I got water. Look. Oh my God, the water touched my feet. When trial starts, I don't want to hear none of that I couldn't sleep, that he's very sorry to the family. You wasn't sorry. If you wasn't sorry right there and then when you killed her and you seen blood coming out of her face, you're not sorry years later, or you're not sorry when trial starts. You wasn't sorry right there. You're not gonna be sorry in a year or a couple from now. I don't want to see their little fake crocodile tears and their thin lips. I don't want to see none of that. Or because when they be on trial, their face be turning mad red and shit. And then, I want to apologize. No apologies.
Tia Mowry also took to social media to express her outrage, and she broke down while talking about the harrowing video of Sonya Massey's.
You guys, so sorry. Oof. I know that this is a very unglamorous video, but I just saw the video of Sonya, and my heart goes out to her family. I am literally shaking right now because to see how someone's life can be taken in such a way is so terrible and so disgusting. When is this going to stop? I'm sorry. I saw many people talk about influencers and how people need to say something. And here I am. You all know how passionate I am about my community and my people. And to have a young black boy who is tall, who is black, and I guess what I'm saying is I worry. And now I'm going to have another conversation with him about being careful. When is this going to stop? When is enough enough?
And then Dr. Umar took it a step further, claiming that Sean Grayson's arrest was used by Democrats to score political points. Dr. Umar suggested that Grayson's trial will be dragged out until after Kamala Harris is elected president. And once that happens, Umar claims Grayson will get his job back like nothing ever happened.
Tell the Democrats that let me talk about my sister Sonya Massey, rest in paradise. Let me talk about my sister Sonya Massey, rest in paradise, who lost her life in Springfield, Illinois. Let me talk about my sister Sonya Massey, who lost her life in Springfield, Illinois, 3 times in the face. 3 times in the face by white supremacy. 3 times in the face by white supremacy for doing nothing at all but holding a pot of hot water. She took that water to the ground when the police officer asked her to get rid of it. She said, "I'm sorry." She said, "I'm sorry, I apologize," and she dropped down with the hot bucket of water. She couldn't drop the water, she would have burned herself. She couldn't drop the water, she burned herself. She couldn't drop the water, so she stooped down with the water so as to show that she posed no security threat at all to those officers, and they took her life anyway. They took her life anyway in Springfield, Illinois. Let me say this, Black America. Let me say this to my Springfield, Illinois Africans. Let me say this to my Chicago, Illinois Africans. Let me say this to the entire 50 million American African population. Don't be hijacked by the fact that the officer was fired because he was charged, because he was relieved of duty. Springfield, Illinois, listen to your brother one time. Springfield, Illinois, listen to your brother one time. Springfield, Illinois, please listen to me. The reason that officer was arrested, the reason he was charged, the reason he was discharged of his duty is because the Democratic Party cannot afford to lose the state of Illinois to the Republicans. Do y'all hear me in the back? Do y'all hear me in the back? Do y'all hear me in the front? Do y'all hear me on the side? Do y'all hear me on the right? Do y'all hear me on the left? He was only arrested and charged because the governor of Illinois is a Democrat. I'm going to say it again. He was only arrested and charged because the governor of Illinois is a Democrat. They can't afford for black people to turn their backs on the Democrats in Illinois. They already got the Brandon Johnson migrant conspiracy. They already got the Brandon Johnson migrant conspiracy popping off in Illinois. They can't afford for Springfield, Illinois to turn up like Chicago is turning up. They can't afford for Springfield, Illinois to turn up like Chicago is turning up. So don't you sit down and get comfortable because he was arrested and charged. Don't you get comfortable because that man is going to trial. All they're doing this for. That cop was arrested because they don't want to lose your votes. And what they're going to do is drag out his trial. They're going to drag out his trial until after Kamala Harris is elected. And after Kamala Harris is elected, they will find some way to give him his job back and drop all the charges. You know I know what I'm talking about.
D.L. Hughley then jumped in to call out Trump-supporting celebs like Amber Rose and Sway Lee. And he said that people are delusional if they think Trump getting elected will do anything but worsen the problem of police brutality. D.L. shared photos and names of other black women and men who were by cops alongside a snippet of Trump saying he plans to give immunity to the police. And he wrote in the caption, "Y'all want to talk about taxes and wars going on overseas? What about this? I would love to hear your slick, cool answer for this. I would love to hear you explain away federal immunity from prosecution for police. Sway Lee, Amber Rose, we would all love to hear your take on this without mentioning anyone else but him." But let's hear your take on this situation. Do you think Sean Grayson will get the punishment he deserves for taking Sonya Massey's life? And how do you feel about Grayson's family now begging for sympathy? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll keep you updated on this as the case develops. See you all in my next video.